You live in your body 24/7, but let's be honest, how well do you really know it? Today, we're going to tear down two fundamental ideas you probably have about yourself. Ideas that might just completely change how you see the person looking back at you in the mirror. This quote right here is the key to everything we're exploring. We're taught to see our bodies as a collection of things, bones, muscles, organs. But what if that's, well, just wrong? What if we're actually a collection of processes? That one little shift in thinking, it changes everything. So, where do we even get these wrong ideas? Well, think about every single anatomy chart you've ever seen. They're great for, naming parts, but they've also accidentally taught us two huge misconceptions about how our bodies actually work. Okay, misconception number one is that your body is a static object, kind of like a statue. We picture this fixed skeleton, this machine made of stable parts. But the truth is, you're way more like a river, in a constant state of flux, always moving, always changing. And the second big misconception, that all our body systems, skeletal, digestive, nervous, are all working in their own little bubbles, completely separate from each other. The reality is they're this deeply tangled, interconnected web where absolutely nothing works alone. All right, let's dive right in and tackle that first myth head on. Get ready to see just how incredibly dynamic you really are, because we are about to bust the idea of the body as some static object. This is really the core idea. Your body is less like a statue and way, way more like a river. It's this continuous flow, constantly being broken down and rebuilt. Every single part of you is in the process of becoming something new, right now. Okay, take a look at the skull. If anything in our body seems solid, permanent, unchanging, it's got to be our bones, right? They're literally the symbol of structure and stability. But what if even that is just an illusion? Well, this right here just completely demolishes that idea. Think about it. A baby's skeleton, it starts out as this soft, flexible cartilage. And over years, it's slowly, methodically replaced by hard bone. Your bones aren't static at all. They have this incredible, dynamic history of constant transformation. And get this process, it never, ever stops. Inside an adult bone, it is not some dead scaffolding. Oh no, it is a bustling factory. That red marrow, it's constantly cranking out your blood cells, making your bones living, dynamic, and absolutely essential organs. So, we've busted myth number one. Your body is a process, not a thing. Now, let's see how that idea helps us take down the second big misconception, the idea that our body systems are all separate little islands. Just think about a super simple action, something you do 1,000 times a day without even thinking about it, bending your arm. It feels like one single command, right? But in that one tiny movement, you have the muscular and skeletal systems working together in this perfect, inseparable dance. And here's why they are completely inseparable. Your muscles can only do one thing: pull. They can't push. So to bend your arm, your biceps has to pull, right? It contracts. But to straighten it back out, your triceps has to do the pulling while the biceps chills out and relaxes. They have to work as a team. One is pretty much useless without the other. But the lines get even blurrier than that. Some organs are basically playing for multiple teams at once. Your long bones? Yeah, they're part of the skeletal system, giving you structure. But since they're making blood cells, they're also a key part of the lymphatic system. And ovaries? They belong to the reproductive system for sure. But by making hormones, they're also major players in the endocrine system. See, the categories we invent are just labels. The reality is one big connected whole. But this collaboration, it goes way beyond just pairs of muscles. It's much more like a symphony, with countless different parts all playing in perfect harmony. And honestly, there is no better example of this than the incredibly complex process of digestion. When you think digestion, what comes to mind? Probably your stomach, right? But the stomach is just one stop on a really long and complicated journey. Real digestion, that's like a perfectly timed ballet, and it involves a whole cast of different organs and systems. It's this incredible relay race. It all kicks off in the mouth, then moves down to the stomach. And that's when other key players like the pancreas, the liver, and the gallbladder jump in with all these essential digestive juices. From there, the small intestine takes over, absorbing all the nutrients, the large intestine reclaims water, and finally the rectum stores waste. Every single step is completely dependent on the one that came before it. It's just a perfect symphony of cooperation. So, what does all this really mean? Where does this leave us? We've seen that your body isn't some static object, and its systems are definitely not separate. And that means that old metaphor of the body as a machine, with all these interchangeable parts, it's just fundamentally wrong. We really need a new way of seeing ourselves. So here's a much better definition for you. The human body, a collection of dynamic processes and deeply interconnected systems, all functioning together to produce a single, extraordinary result, a conscious, living being, you.
So, the next time you look in the mirror, try to see beyond just the collection of parts. See the flowing, ever-changing process. See the vibrant, dynamic event that is you, happening right now in real time.
And we'll end by coming back to that really powerful idea we started with, because it just perfectly captures the essence of what you are. Everything is in motion. Everything is being remade, moment by moment. And that leaves us with a really fascinating, kind of mind-bending question. If your physical body is a process, constantly being rebuilt from totally new materials, are you actually the same person you were yesterday? Something to think about.